The baseball world is really taking a moment this week, remembering a true legend. His passing, well, it's sparked this incredible outpouring of emotion, fans, colleagues, everyone. So today, we're going to dive deep into the life and, the lasting legacy of Ryne Sandberg.
Yeah, absolutely. And our mission here, it's really to go beyond just the stats, the numbers you might already know. We want to understand why he was such an important figure. People called him a hero to a generation. What made him matter so much? On the field, sure, but off the field too, in ways that, aren't just in the box score.
Right. And to help us sort of piece this together, we've looked at quite a few sources, articles from big outlets like Reuters, Fox Sports, plus the sports-specific places, MLB.com, ESPN, and also just a lot of community tributes, things people have been sharing. The goal is really to plot the key insights, give you a shortcut, basically, to being well-informed about this really iconic player. So the news broke. Ryne Sandberg passed away on Monday, July 28th, 2025. He was 65. It followed a battle with metastatic prostate cancer. That started back in January 2024. There was a brief remission, which was hopeful, but then it unfortunately returned in December 2024. And while that fight was, largely private, his connection to baseball and specifically the Chicago Cubs, that was incredibly public. I mean, it's almost impossible to think about the Cubs from that era without thinking of Ryne Sandberg. That bond, it was really forged over 15 seasons, wasn't it? After that big trade from the Phillies in '82.
15 seasons. Yeah, that is an extraordinarily long time with one team. And it wasn't just time served, right? It really solidified that connection with the team, with the fans, for a whole generation of baseball fans, especially in Chicago. His name was the Cubs. It's that deep emotional link that, frankly, not many players ever achieve.
And that whole era was just powerfully shaped by how dominant he was on the field. You look at his career stats, okay, .285 batting average, 282 home runs, over 1,000 RBIs, 1,061, 344 stolen bases, over more than 2,100 games. These numbers, they tell a story of just consistent excellence. He wasn't just a power guy or just a speed guy. He was like the definition of a five-tool play.
That's it exactly. And it's amazing when you think about it, how few players really reach that level, that sustained multidimensional excellence. Those numbers, especially, pairing 280 plus homers with over 340 steals for a second baseman in his time, that blend of power and speed, it just set him apart. Defenses constantly had to account for him in ways they just didn't for most other guys at second base.
Absolutely. And you really saw that whole package come together in that incredible 1984 season. His National League MVP year.
Yeah.
Led the league in runs, led the league in triples. But it wasn't just the stats that year. It was the way he seemed to just command the game whenever he stepped up.
And if you're talking iconic moments from '84, or maybe his whole career, well, you have to talk about the Sandberg game. It just sort of crystallized everything about his impact.
Oh, the Sandberg game, June 23rd, 1984, against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just, clutch hitting. It became this defining moment for the Cubs, for the fans, those two game-tying homers in one game, especially against their rivals. It just elevated him. He went from being a great player to like an undeniable legend right there. He sort of embodied that fighting spirit Cubs fans were always hoping for. It cemented his status, not just in the stats book, but like in the heart of the franchise. And speaking of unforgettable moments, remember the 90 home run derby? Winning it at Wrigley, that was another one that just really clicked with the fans there.
Right, and that connection, it wasn't just feelings or anecdotes, was it? His awards back it up. Those 9 gold gloves, 9, for defense, and 7 silver sluggers for being the best hitter at his position. It just underlines a career that was defined by being great at everything. All-around impact. He wasn't satisfied being good at one thing. He really changed the expectations for an elite second baseman, offense and defense.
And of course, the official recognition came. Induction into the Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, in 2005. The Cubs retired his number 23 jersey naturally. And now, you can go see his statue outside Wrigley Field, standing there with other Cubs legends, a permanent reminder of his place in their history.
Yeah, and his impact, it definitely went beyond his playing career. Okay, he managed the Phillies for a bit, 2013 to 2015, but maybe more importantly, he became this really beloved ambassador for the Cubs. He kept showing up, Hall of Fame events, other baseball things. What's really striking is that enduring commitment, to the game, to the team, long after he hung up his spikes. It showed dedication beyond just his own stats.
He really did matter beyond the numbers. That's the key takeaway, I think. He just embodied professionalism, didn't he? A team-first attitude, a real deep respect for baseball tradition. He consistently, as people said, set a standard both on and off the field. That's a phrase you hear a lot.
And that incredible devotion, it was clear right up to the end. Even while he was publicly battling cancer, he was still involved with the Cubs. He went to spring training in early 2025. That kind of commitment, facing what he was facing, it just speaks volumes about the kind of person he was. Dedication until the end.
And the reaction to his passing, it was just immediate and profound. You saw fans gathering at Wrigley, leaving flowers at his statue. They lit up the marquee in his memory, everyone calling him Ryno. It was just this spontaneous wave of grief, but also appreciation.
Yeah, and you had the official statements, too. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, he called Sandberg a five-tool player, naturally, but also one of the all-time greats in nearly 150 years of this franchise. And Manfred also pointed out his off-field contributions, his commitment to cancer research. It does make you think, doesn't it? How does someone's impact spread beyond just what they did on the diamond? How do they become a force for good elsewhere?
Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts said similar things. Honoring his integrity, his hustle, his love for the game, he called him a hero to a generation of fans. That phrase again.
And it wasn't just the officials. You heard from former players, teammates. They remembered him as, quote, ungodly consistent. That's a great description. They shared stories about his work ethic, his character. What's really powerful there is how those personal stories, those anecdotes, they just reinforce the bigger picture of his professionalism, his deep impact. Paints a picture of someone who genuinely earned respect and admiration.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for us, for the fans, for baseball? Ryne Sandberg's legacy, it's clearly not just about those incredible stats or the awards, so they're impressive. It's really about the character, that quiet integrity, the consistent devotion he showed to the game, to the fans. That's what makes him such an enduring symbol for the Cubs and really for baseball itself.
Yeah, I think that's right. And maybe a final thought here. In an age that's often, dominated by flashy stats, by individual achievements, maybe over team success, Ryne Sandberg is this powerful reminder, isn't he, of how a player's character, their sheer consistency, that unwavering commitment to the team, how that can define an era, how that measures greatness in ways that go so far beyond just the box score. He showed us, really, that some legacies are built not just on talent, but on the quiet, profound impact of just being an exemplary professional day after day after day.